Okay. Yes, I am very late today. And I know most people are probably elsewhere listening to because there's a bunch of good lives going on. And I feel like I should just come on like when I say I'm going to, but my back has been so bad like I haven't been able to like sit in a chair. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to lay down and try and get my back pain under control cuz such is life. And now I'm all tired. So we'll see how this goes. But yes, I have a few things I want to talk about. I'm taking a little bit of a different approach here, guys. So, oh my god, I'm gonna need these things. Oh yes, there they are. My lozenges, because my mouth is gonna get dry. When I'm talking about something that I get like passionate about, or I don't know what the right word's passionate. That's not a good word for it. I don't know, invested in maybe. I get dry mouth really bad. Hello, Michelle. Welcome. And I do see that Xylee was here. That makes me happy because I like to think that I'm not like one of the bad people. But it's true, guys. We're gonna be addressing that too. Like, I'm I don't want to be like a part of whatever this is. So I'm gonna be taking like a little bit of a different direction. Hello. Oh my god, I swear I can see 771KJC. I don't know if how I'm just gonna read that. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I think she's actually doing a live right now, talking about the community and what happened. Hi, Amber. Hello, Let's Eat Chocolate. You changed your name, didn't you? You were something else earlier because I checked my comments and I was like, I know who you are, but your name changed. But yes, guys. So I feel like in the community lately, a lot of people, people just look at things as sides, and I get that. So we're doing drama, like people do drama, so they're gonna pick a side for whatever reason. Now, here's what I'm not gonna do. I don't want to pick a side. I want to be friendly with who I'm friendly with. So I want to make that very, very clear. So if you see me somewhere, don't it doesn't mean yeah, I do my own thing. I play by my own rules. I'm not playing by anybody else's rules over here. I'm not intimidated by anybody here, not even a little bit. And I'm going to say what I have to say. So, I've kept my mouth shut. I've bit my tongue. I've done all of those things since the get-go. I love life at home since I came on here for various reasons. So, first of all, the first reason I did it was because I'm genuinely a nice person, guys. I'm really not particularly confrontational. If you know me in real life, I am outspoken. I have no issue telling you to your face anything. But you have to get to know me though. But I don't go looking for an altercation, and I don't go looking to start issues with people. Like not even close. And it really brings people to bring issues to me in my life. I've noticed because I don't know why, because that's it. I don't know, but it is what it is. But I'm part of this community. And, for the longest time, I was kind of watching how everyone else did things. Hi, Rody Gal. And I was like, okay. So it seems like, people pick a side or whatever. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to start speaking out about one thing, but we're not going to do that. I'm not. I kept my mouth shut about a lot of stuff because I was like, you know what? I don't know if I want to bring that on myself or blah blah blah, but I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not, because nobody here I'm not talking about subs, guys, all right? So please don't take this personally, because it's not about subs, and it's not about most creators either. But to be fair, guys, not many people have given much of a shit about my feelings and considerate of how I feel. And I'm going to address those people directly today too, because I'm done not doing that. I'm done not using names. I'm not doing that anymore. So because clearly it doesn't matter whether I do or not. I'm still going to get shit for it. So it doesn't matter. Now, what I want to say is that, I was going to say things about a particular thing, but because we'll see how this goes. But I do want to start off though by saying that I also do not like, and I think a lot of people are on the same page as me. Now, I don't know how Lycan got the diary thing. I don't know how he got that, but I didn't think that should have been shown, right? So, that's a kid's diary. Now, my diary when I was that age sounded not too far off from that, right? So, and as somebody who is adopted, that this is, that's none of our business, guys. It's just not, all right? You don't, I don't particularly like Natasha myself, and it goes beyond not particularly. I mean, I I have some things to say about her too, but this isn't about her kids or her niece. I don't appreciate that. But that's how far this has gone, guys. Like that people are comfortable. Hi, Kim. And hi, Abby. That people are comfortable doing that just to like get back at one person or another. Now, and I don't like that, right? So I mean, we have enough to go on, and if you're going to go after Natasha, I don't think things need to be brought to that level. So I mean, I'm saying that publicly. I said that last night, but I'll say it again. I don't know how he got that. I don't know. I know that there's people throwing around the blame game and whatever, but I take all that with a grain of salt because who knows? I don't know. But I'm not happy with the state of our little quote unquote community here. We have people here that I have just so much in my mind right now that I want to say. So I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. People have been victimized in this community for far too long. And I just see it every day. Now, I also, and I might bring up later, hi, Denise. And I'm just, you know what, guys, like, it's nuts. So, Natasha aside, right? I came on here talking about that. And I'm not done talking about Natasha, but I'm not doing it in a way that's like anything that I would be embarrassed about if, a coworker or a family member saw. I'm just going to call out some behaviors that I've been seeing because I just don't understand how other people don't see it. Yeah, I agree. Kim. I said that from day one, and nobody, well, not nobody, but a lot of people didn't want to listen to me. And I said that too. There was a reason I was dismissive of that in my chat. I was like, you know what? I'm all set with that. But that's just because that's not what I believe in. And I don't tell anybody else who they shouldn't hang out with. That's not my business. But at the same time, I feel like that's, and I think, and I've spoken to some people privately about it. I'm like, I mean, this is one person that I don't particularly, I think would stoop to a level, but that's just my opinion on that. But, that's the thing though. And I'm glad you're here, Kim, because I was going to talk a little bit about that too. So there's also people here that like to run with all these like wild conspiracy theories. So, I heard today, I was listening in on Natasha, and who else was up there? Dorothy and Country Joe. Now, Country Joe, she's never done anything to me. So honestly, like, I'm not even paying that any mind. That's not, here or there with that. But, Dorothy, my friend. So you say that like, you're right about all of these things that but the reason you did that is, as far as I know, and the reason you did what you did to me was because you said that I had been communicating with Kim for weeks, and she's in my ear and all that stuff. I believe that's what you said. And I've never spoken to her privately, right? I like Kim, so I wouldn't mind talking to her privately, but it is what it is. And I like the channels that I like. And I'm not gonna like be quiet about it anymore. What's the point? Do I like everything that everybody here does? No, I don't. But what I really don't like is the fact that there are like subscribers that give people a free, like, that the creator that they like a free pass because it's directed at somebody they don't like. And I've seen that happen in this community for a long time. And it's happened to a lot of people. But lately, it's Granny, it's Natasha, and Kim, you've had your fair share of it as well. And yeah, I'm not, and that's, oh my God, why is my phone ringing? Go away. Yeah. Well, no, I agree. I'm a sub. I mean, I think that no one is in the right in that situation. You know what I mean? I feel like, especially when you're on YouTube, and I know she said that she wasn't on the internet at that point or whatever, but I'm not sure what that break was or why she needed a break. But if I was involved in social media at all, I don't know if she was doing it prior, I wouldn't put stuff like that out because I know how this works. And I agree. I mean, I just expect people to do stuff like that. It's not a surprise to me that somebody saved that to their phone and somebody was like, oh, I'll save this in case, because I'm thoroughly convinced, guys, that there are people here that have, hi, Turtle Gum, that have like legit files on people. and they just save whatever they get, not because they have a problem with that person right now, but because they might have a problem in the future. And that is just how this works on social media. And it's gross, but unfortunately, that's how it seems to work. I am sure somewhere has a whole. Oh, okay. Thank you, Jax, for letting me know that she took a break because people were right. Okay, that's what I thought. That's what I thought, and that's what I'm saying. If she's involved in stuff like that, then no, I would not be sending that kind of thing out. Like, that's going to get used against you in some way or form. And that's a kid, right? And I mean, honestly, nothing that I saw, I turned it off because I was like, I don't want to hear this. It's not my business. I didn't feel right. But I was like, okay. And none of it was anything that was, and honest to God, this is the only time I'm going to mention this, guys. So I don't want this to get taken because I'm not doing a panel right now. I got to get some stuff off my chest. And I can't I apologize. I should be highlighting comments. I know, I was reading a thing and I can't do everything at once. I have such bad ADD. And when I have a lot of thoughts, I just everything goes everywhere. But yeah, so, and I've even said that to you guys, I'm not Natasha Cooper's biggest fan. Everybody knows that. Now, am I going to come at her and be awful? No, but I do have things. I do have things that I need to address about that just because I've been observing, right? And as a fellow businesswoman, I mean, I've seen some things, and I mean, I would love to critique her method here because I think it's very interesting. And she's very good at what she does, but we're going to talk about that too. But nobody's kids should be brought into it, right? So, guys, just stop with that, right? It drives me nuts because honestly, I think that whatever's going on in that household, that's not for us to decipher. That's not for us to look at and, make a judgment on. Everybody can have their opinions on what goes on over there. But it ultimately, guys, it's not our business. So, and that's, she really is not a part of any of this either. So, if I think she's 14, right? If my journal when I was 14 was read on the internet like that, I'm not going to lie to you guys. That would be, as an adult, I'd be like, whatever. But, when you're 14, frontal lobe's not developed. Things affect you differently. You process information differently. And, unfortunately, that's going to be hurtful or embarrassing at the very least. Oh, I'm so sorry, Jax. I heard, because I heard her mention it, that you were dealing with some stuff, and I'm so sorry. That sucks. Hi, Crystal. Right, Kim? I would too. Hi, Brittany. And I just, it has nothing, you don't have to like Natasha, but doing that to her, that's not cool, guys. It's not cool, and I don't stand for that. I don't want that here. There's a reason I have kept certain people at bay, or, not that they care what I think of them, because they don't. I'm a nobody on here, but I mean, nobodies don't say nobody's forever. But, I'm not a, anything like that, but, that there's a reason that in my head, if I was playing, I was like, you know what, I can't fuck with this person. But, and this is BeePlus after dark, right? So, I don't know. So there's that. There's also a lot of, people that are just being as brutal as possible. And what I realize, guys, is that I don't really care about what I say at this point anymore, because as long as I speak in a way that isn't embarrassing to me at any point, and that I would be embarrassed of if my family members saw, then I'm okay doing it. Because you want to know why? Because these people don't care about me. These people don't care about my feelings, clearly. These people are perfectly capable of making shit up about me and putting it out into the world as if it's fact. And it doesn't matter whether I say anything about them or not. So if it doesn't matter, then why can't I have some fun with it, right? It's a bunch of bored people on the internet who just go back and forth at each other and like to play pretend, because there's a lot of pretend going on too, guys. We're going to talk about that too. I've noticed some patterns. I've noticed a lot of patterns. And, for people who haven't been around a while, I mean, I know that people who have seen them. And, it's like a checklist. It's I think I started over in this community, I don't know, last February. And it's I'm seeing the same things over and over again. And it's okay, well, I can almost predict what's going to happen next. And you'll notice that big things like that, and I'm jumping topic to topic. I can't help it. But, I stopped talking about a lot of things because I was like, you know what? I don't want to step on any toes. I don't want to do that. I'm going to kind of just do my own thing. But at the time, guys, I don't even care anymore. because I'm really, guys, the one thing I'm going to say is that there is no, like, no amount of awareness, guys, that is going to, wait, hold on. Everyone needs to. Oh, I know. Well, Jennifer, I have called that out as well. I don't think what she did. Yeah, right. No, I was like one of the first. I said straight up that, Jess's dad had nothing to do with this and should not be brought. You're like, who cares if she mentioned him? What? I That's not okay either. I agree on that as well. And I did. I have called that out. But I wasn't talking about. There is a lot to discuss. Oh, there is. And I've bit my tongue because I was like, first of all, I didn't know what kind of channel I wanted to be. Second of all, there were some people that, guys, let's call it as we see it. I feel that there are people over, like, in this area, like, if you are talking about a creator that they like, right, they will go. I feel like there's a lot of intimidation tactics that go on, and I've noticed it. I've seen it happen, and I just, and I'm not like one of those people that'll just like roll over and let people walk on me for the most part, but I'm not confrontational either. So when I started seeing that, I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm going to take a step back. I'm going to see if this is something that I really want to do, because I was getting shit for stupid stuff. And I really, oh my God, I'm going to piss people off today. And I don't care. I don't care. Because being quiet has gotten me nowhere. Being quiet has gotten, Dorothy up there, before saying that I'm lying about being in recovery to get information on her. Excuse me? Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's right. I came on here to lie about who would do that? I don't think like that, but maybe she does. I don't know. And that was hurtful. I really, I was nothing. I had never, I never ever said anything about her. Never. To privately, publicly, otherwise, aside from, talking to her, because that, but yeah. But when that happened, I was in shock. I was like, what the hell is going on here? For stuff that just, it's not even real. So here's the thing, like, it doesn't matter what I say. People are going to make it up into whatever they want. And it's just getting out of control. And I'm tired of people getting blamed for shit they didn't do. I'm tired of that. And I know this is going to be an unpopular opinion, guys. I know it is. But I don't think any amount of awareness in the world is going to get people to stop supporting Natasha, right? So she has her community, and they are going to give her money. They are going to continue giving her money. And what I see, and what I feel like a lot of people don't see, like, don't want to see, but like, Xylee, I was just watching Xylee, and she has a point though. Like, if Natasha does play that victim card, so you're just handing it to her, you just hand that victim card to her and give her something to talk about and stuff. And I mean, usually she just makes it up, but hold on, wait, I'm trying to hold on. Yeah, nobody thinks like, right. In the camera, I find myself screaming that at the phone all the time. I'm like, who thinks like that? Well, you know what? I do know who thinks like that, because there are some people who are, stupid enough to, not close their screen, that when they're screen sharing and, they're on their private chat. There are some people who forget that, everybody can see that. I saw a couple of those recently that I was like, okay, it's like that, is it? You can't help it. I'm nosy. I'm an observer. I am an observer. Yeah, and I did appreciate it. That's right. And here's the thing, like, people have come at me for one thing or another. There was one particular person who I haven't decided if I want to use their name or not, who came after me very aggressively because I, was in Dorothy's chat and supported Dorothy. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I was kind of blown away that somebody would do that. I was like, what the fuck is this woman's problem? But it was like relentless. It was in other people's chats, and they would be like, could you please stop talking about things that have nothing to do with this creator? Nope. Continue to at me. Look what you did to Jess. What about Jessica? I'm like, dude, I did not have any intention of fighting with anybody about that. Yeah, Kim, I think we all have at one point or another. And I did like her. But the problem though is that, then I started seeing these behaviors, and all I did, Kim, was say that I didn't appreciate how she handled the situation with you and Crafton. Literally, I think that's what set her off. I could be wrong. And that was like all from there. But right. Yeah. I don't know, guys. I don't know. I'm not really watching the chat as much. I'm trying to. Um, oh, Jennifer, I feel you. And I am going to be talking about a bunch of those things. I've been observing, guys, and I've been keeping my mouth shut. I've been observing. So there's a couple things that she does that we're going to talk about. You'll notice patterns of, when she, the whole thing with her door or whatever. I don't know. That was very sus to me. It was right after a casino trip, was it not? I don't know. Maybe she lost, was out a bunch of money. But there's that. But there's also, I wanted to have a discussion though about the makeup thing, right? So I looked into it. This is, I do marketing, I do business for a living. My classmates, I have a classmate who does. She's part of the marketing team for I can't remember if it was Ipsy or BoxyCharm or one of them. I only get Ipsy, so I've made some observations because I was watching. I had never watched one of her pop-up sales. I had never watched it because I have no interest in that. But the other day it came up on like an autoplay and I was listening to it. And I think I was like, my phone was one place and I was across the house with it depends, Rody Gal, though. It depends. And if it's travel size and it can't be priced, then there's a reason. But not everything that you get, the full size stuff. I mean, technically you could, but I just want consumers, right? I want the people buying that stuff. I want you guys to know what you're paying for. I want you guys to know, you're welcome to shop from her. That's fine. But I just want you guys to know, where stuff's coming from, what you should be paying for it, and blah, 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 blah. So we can talk about that too. Because I've definitely noticed that. And, she's, I don't want to make this all about the Natasha show because there's other people too, but, we'll start there because that's an easy one. And that's what I originally came at because I don't like manipulation, right? I don't like people who, use other people for their own benefit. Now you could, be like, Emma, how are you any good at business if you do that? Well, for me, it's about building relationships and counting on the fact that it'll come back to you in return. And that's worked for me so far. Now, also, you have to come into YouTube with like certain expectations. Now, I go into all relationships here and I don't fault people for it. So I know that there are other people that are creators that have channels and they are all trying to, make their channels grow, whatever. I know that when it comes down to it, I will be thrown under the bus and that, for people for their own personal gain on here. And I don't take it personally. I just see that as how people generally are on here. Loyalty, a lot of people are like, you should be loyal to this. I'm beg to differ. I'm not really one of those people who wants to preach loyalty, but if you've earned my loyalty, and it takes a while. I build relationships differently, but if you've proven that you are somebody that, I can count on, and, I'm not talking about an echo chamber either. I like people that call me out on stuff and some, but nicely, not nicely, but appropriately, not following me chat room to chat room, adding me like a crazy person. That's not going to work, but yeah. Right. Brittany, you have no idea. Like I went through all of them. I was like, oh, because I just so happened, like I get Ipsy, guys. So I had just so happened they were having like, oh, last chance to, don't miss out on the add-ons for this month. And I was like, okay. So I clicked on it. I'm looking through it. And it was like, I'm like, where have I seen these palettes before? Where have I seen these? And then I went back and I'm like, oh my God. So guys, there was one palette on there that she was selling for $20. Now you could have gotten the entire bundle off of Ipsy for $50 and it came with like 5 items, but pay $20 for just that palette. That's fine. And there was a bunch of them like that. It was really ugly too. I mean, I don't blame her for selling that one, but I have a whole pile of stuff. I don't even give a crap, I'll give it all away. I don't like half the shit I get. So, but I like Ipsy too. But right. And you can tell, yeah. And but if people want to buy something that's used, if you're in a established retail environment, you can't do that because of legal issues. However, people are, I can't tell you how many times people have asked me to buy like a display one for like a reduced cost. But, if she's selling used stuff, she should be reducing that cost, plus making the customer aware. So I want to have a whole live about what customers' rights are and what they should know about that, because you're welcome people are welcome to do with their money whatever they want. But I just want to put information out there. I have I do give a lot of mine away. I do. And I know that I've been quiet because I'm like I don't really want to get everybody to because I was like I don't know what I want to do with this, but I want to go down this road. There was another live the other day. Speaking of makeup, and there was somebody who had said something about her sales, her pop-up sales, and I believe it was Parker came on and said something along the lines of that there was a woman who or somebody's oh god, I just came up with some I have two very good thoughts and I hope I don't lose one of them. Oh my god. But so that there was a woman and she bought a lot of Natasha's makeup to give to a homeless shelter. Now guys, face value, I was like, oh, okay. And then I was like, that, I don't know. So if you're, okay, here's what I'm going to say, guys. And the thing was, if you're going to give makeup to, I don't know, maybe like a women's shelter and stuff, make them, I get that. But you can make your money go a lot further with like less expensive makeup. But as, my mom does homeless outreach. One of her specialties, like as she's also a professor of social work and her thing is like she does a homeless outreach class. I don't know, like the amount of money that this person is spending on makeup from Natasha Cooper, you could be giving that money to the homeless shelter where they can in turn buy things that these people actually need. Or I don't know, you could do like what me and my mom do and put together kits for, the panhandlers that you pull up and they're on the side of the road, like things that they need, like socks, wet wipes, if it's cold where you live, gloves, your dollar could go a lot further and help people a lot more. So that didn't sit well with me. I mean, that's great that you want to give like that. I think that's commendable. I think that's great. But if you're really trying to help people in need, giving them, designer makeup, that ain't it. Like, that ain't it. And even if you wanted to give makeup to a women's shelter where, maybe they've gone through so much and it's nice to dress up and make yourself feel pretty. But you could get like cheaper makeup, get a nice variety, and then give them extra money. I don't know, guys. Call me crazy, and there was that, yes. And have you guys ever noticed, I'm full ADD tonight. Have you guys noticed, guys? Have you noticed that she always gets these texts and it's always like, dude, stop texting me. Oh, your donations aren't coming in. Oh, Granny's watching's getting more super chats than you. Oh, no, you have all these people in the chat and nobody's filling your fund. Nobody's fucking texting you that, dude. Nobody. Like, nobody. Like, and it's always about the same thing. Have you like, oh my god, I feel like people notice it but they don't care because it's entertainment. So I'm going to go out of that vein here. So I'm going to talk about it because I'm just doing commentary on things that I see, right? I'm not talking about anybody's past. I'm not talking about anything like that, but I'm just calling it how I see it. And that's just, I'm starting with that, but like, I can't be the only person who's skeptical of those text messages. Cause have you noticed it's always about somebody allegedly mocking her for her PayPal fund not getting filled up fast enough? You're holding it 30%, blah, blah, blah. And it works, guys. These are all classic business marketing moves. And I see it from like a mile away. And that's it's called pressure. Yeah, well, whatever. We could do a business class later. But what I don't like though, and then I find it more annoying than anything else. So I can't technically, guys, and I'm not talking about everything but the stuff that I'm going to talk about right now though, technically, she's not breaking any laws doing what she's doing. Now, there's a difference between like, business and then being shady, and she toes that line really well. And I think sometimes she slips and falls over, but as far, let's give it. Yeah. And if anybody here has been in this community for a long time, you'll see that it's always stuff like this that happens to like revamp everybody's concern with things. But it's like, it's the same shit. It's like she forgot that she used that one already. And if all of this stuff is really happening to her, I mean, geez, like she must be the most unlucky person I've ever met. She probably shouldn't gamble if, this is her luck, that all of this stuff happens to her day after day after day after day. No, guys, that's why I'm like perfectly with it. That was kind of part of my idea of why I'm willing to come on here and talk about it, because it's a bunch of like old ladies that want to, I'm sorry, guys, I'm not age. Okay, that came out wrong. But you know what I mean. I am an old lady. I consider myself to be an old lady too. So I'm including myself in here. And there's a lot of bored people on here playing pretend, and it's like drama. And I wish that some of the other stuff was drama too, but it's all pretend. And if other people can make stuff up, then I can come on here and talk about things that actually happened. I mean, why not? Why not? Exactly. And then and guys, here's the other thing. We shouldn't be assuming things about people's medical. And I think that goes for Natasha as well, right? So I don't question that. I have thoughts about certain things, but I don't talk about it. So when I was, and I don't want to talk about anybody else's business like that on here, but because I don't, but when Jess came on today and she said what she said about what she's struggling with, what's going on for her with that, like, with something that serious, I mean, first of all, I don't know who would lie about that. I don't answer that question, but because I don't know, but I don't think I don't who would lie about that, first of all. And I don't think she wanted to come on and say that either. So I mean, fingers crossed that, like, it's not it's something that she can, that's not, I don't know. But I didn't like the fact that that's their content. Then you had good old Dorothy, who likes to go into people's like, medical history and have them show their medication or whatever. Like, what the fuck? Like, come on. I thought better of her. I did. I really did. And I don't know, guys. But the thing is that just reaffirmed it, because they're like, talking all about Granny, and like, that's a really serious diagnosis. Okay, like that's not something to scoff at or anything like that. And I always take people at people's face value with that kind of thing, because as somebody who suffers with an invisible chronic disability and, my own health issues, I don't question that from people. That personally, I don't, if other people want to, that's their personal decision, but I don't do that. And I don't know Jess well. We're not like friends. Like, I've spoken to her privately back in the beginning, a little bit, but nothing like that. But I usually get decent vibes. I'm good at vibing people out, and I don't get that vibe from this. Like, I don't believe, I don't believe that she would lie about something like that. I just don't. I just don't. Um, and that's my opinion on that. Yeah, I mean, right, Brittany, though, exactly. And I don't think she should have had to announce that. Like, exactly. That's the thing, though. I mean, I don't know how that came to be. I missed the first part of that live, so I don't know why she felt that she needed to address it. But my understanding is that somebody had said it before she could. Which obviously I'm a firm believer in that shouldn't happen, because you know what? My issues with substance abuse it was not something I planned to bring onto YouTube at all. And for a lot of reasons, because I wasn't sure what I was going to do with this channel. And it's not, the first thing I come on here and talk about, with people. But I had shared that information. I had shared that information with Jess when I, way back when, probably in like maybe November, December. And, because obviously, we have that in common. So I had told her about that. And, I ended up, but not coming out openly, not because I have it to hide, not because I'm ashamed, but because, I mean, you guys have met my dad. You see where, my family, how I was raised. I mean, you don't expect that from that kind of, but addiction knows no, class, race, gender, it affects everybody. And I'm like living proof of that. And, and hold on, my dogs are being so rude. I might have to go put her in her crate, but she's mad at me because I was supposed to walk her. Oh, I probably should. Oh, okay, whatever. I'm talking to myself. Yeah, I have ADD really bad. And Kim, I'm gonna say I don't even care. Like, I've always like kind of identified with you, because you've mentioned that you have ADD too, and like, I don't know. I was always like, oh, okay, I think she gets it. There's a lot of ADD people, but like, I'm like, my mind is always everywhere. Right. And I wouldn't come on here to talk about my recovery. This is not a recovery channel. Like, and I'm not sober. I'm clean. So there's a difference. And there's whatever. But the fact that I told her, because she said she was a recovery coach. And I was like, okay, like, so cool. I mean, I'd like to talk to somebody about this, because, I it's not like I'm, clear sailing from here. It's something I struggle with every single day. It's something that I'll always struggle with for, my entire life. And there's definitely like I have goals going forward with it that I need to meet. I'm not at, my end point here, like not even close. I still have a lot of scary things that I need to do for that. And it is what it is. But the fact that like all of a sudden I actually had went over to that live to listen to it. And I go on and somebody told me, they're like, she's talking about you. I'm like, whatever, she's probably just mentioning me. I don't really care. I knew she was mad because I had said something about not liking the fact that she was laughing about what happened to Crafton, because, that's not really funny. I don't know. Call me crazy. But, so I had gone over there. But then when I went over there and I heard, and then I looked at what was in the chat and I'm like, good God, like what? And it's like, that's why I'm not taking this seriously. I don't want to take YouTube seriously. I know the people in this community, and I like who I like, and, anyone else, it is what it is. But, you have people that, were like, oh, I love your channel. It's so great. I love what you're doing. And then the minute like she said something that I think it wasn't even that was the kicker. It was that like apparently I was lying to everybody because of, Kim. She does not like you, Kim. Like that is clear. And I don't know if I remember how that all went down, but yeah, for whatever reason, that's, she's very hyper focused on that. It is what it is, I guess. I was like, oh my God, these people at the drop of a dime will leave, and they will be like, oh, I'm going to just go over to this. And, you're the worst person. We see it happen on Natasha's channel all the time. How many people have left and all of a sudden they're like the worst people in the entire world, but now they're back there and it's like, oh, well, we didn't actually dislike you. We didn't actually do that. I appreciate that, Athena. Not everybody did that. There are a few. There are many, though, that still do come to my channel and still do support me. And I think that's wonderful. And I appreciate that, because I have no issue with the people in that, I miss some of those people very much. But I don't feel comfortable going back there. I don't feel comfortable going a lot of places because of that. And I don't, it's been rough because I've had people from all sides that don't like me. Right. So, and they might not talk about it, but I know these, I know, like I see what people write sometimes, I do get screenshots of things. I've seen those things. I just choose not to address it, because when it comes down to it, is that like, I don't care. Like if there are people in people's ears, and I still want to know, there are two situations that have happened on here. And I'm sorry, my dog is being really awful. There's two situations with two different creators that I would like to know who was telling them the things that they have been mad at me for months now. And that is what I would like to know, because whoever is in somebody's ear like that, you might want to question their honesty with you and their intentions, because I know for an 100% fact, I swear on everything I love and care about, that I have lied about nothing. And whatever they're telling you did not happen. Everything that I do is upfront on my channel. If I speak to people privately, I assure you, it's not anything that I would not say to somebody's face if given the opportunity to. And I think those people know that, but I'm not secretly, conspiring to take somebody down. Like, that just sounds paranoid and delusional. And I get that it happens. Like, I know it does. But quite honestly, guys, like, no offense, but none of you are that important to me that I would want to do that with my time, since I have a life and I don't spend all of my time brooding over people on the internet. And I don't know if you guys have noticed. Right. And that's why I do. And, I'm actually glad to see a lot of people here right now, because I think this is good. Because I do go to different chats. I do. I very much do. And I know that the people in the chats that I go to don't always like each other. I do know that. But here's the thing, and I know people are like, well, what about loyalty? What about that? Honestly, guys, this is how we're going forward, or else I know you and, I've gotten to know you, and I feel that I owe you that. If my problems are not your problems, and vice versa. And I am just going to go and do what I do. And if just trust that if I'll say something about it at this point. But, I'm not going to let other people dictate what I do on YouTube. This is my entertainment. This is my community. If I like two people, it's not my fault that they don't like each other. And people are always going to be fighting. Hi, Xylee. People are always going to be fighting on here. It doesn't matter. and 9 times out of 10 people, switch who they're mad at. That's how this works. So I'm not going to avoid people's channels that I like just because it'll upset somebody who I also like. I'm not doing that. And we're not even, hold on, wait, what? Oh, over to you. Michelle, I like you a lot. You're my friend. Yeah, and we can block each other. That's right, Kim. And that's very, very true. And you've been in this community for a while, so you've seen but it was never this bad. And I don't quite know, like, I can't quite put my finger on it, but I think the problem is well, honestly, guys, if you want my honest opinion, I think it's a problem with with all of us, including subscribers, with that, because I get that people like drama. But it's like we've been so desensitized. It takes something major to be able to bring in those views. And not everybody does it. Not everybody does this. I think that there are creators in this community that have they have a really unique style, and their chat has a different vibe. They have unique they might be talking about like the same general thing, but the way they do it is very different, and I appreciate that. So yeah, some people don't like drama. That's right, some people don't. And I'm not really a dramatic person. So this, for me, I think I do like soft core drama, right? So it's not in my nature to come on here and yell and scream at people. I know that other people can. Sometimes I wish I could, but it's not, I'd be acting, and I'm not a very good actor. So for me, but I went beyond that. For me, I was keeping my mouth shut, and I wasn't saying what I thought, and I wasn't saying anything like that. Wait, hold on. Sorry. And I wasn't telling people what I thought because, kind of out of respect for their feelings and all of that, because I thought, maybe I had, but I'm not here to make friends. I can't be. I wouldn't expect another creator to, sabotage their own channel for me. That doesn't make sense. That's not how I think. Now, I've had people that are like, well, that's really concerning that that's how you think, Emma. You think of it, but I do. Unfortunately, like, I don't know people on here very well. So if it came down between, standing up for me and, keeping their channel afloat, why wouldn't they keep their channel afloat? Come on. Like, I don't see, if we don't know each other, then that's how I feel about that. And people don't like that, I guess, but that's okay. So I'm able to have relationships with people on here and, understand that person is going to have their best interest in mind. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I really don't. Because nobody here owes me anything personally, and I do try to, and everybody here knows that, though. I do avoid drama. I don't do this often. I generally keep to myself and my commentary and my, whatever else that I do on here, because I am a very eclectic channel, and I do care about people, and I don't want to hurt people. I think that's been my biggest drawback, is not hurting people. Even if it's people I don't like, I don't like to hurt people. But I think what changed my mind recently on some things is that I don't think some people here are hurt at all by what's going on. I think that some people here, and that's what I want subscribers to understand. And this is what drives me up a wall. So Natasha is a drama channel. So she has her true crime, and she has this, and it is a drama channel. Now, guys, what a drama channel is where you have conflict, where people are going back and forth at each other. And, Natasha can sit there and say that she wants all of this to stop, all she wants. But no, she doesn't. What? Come on. That's not how this works. She loves it when this stuff happens. Now, I think that there are some times that lines have been crossed. I am acknowledging that. I do not think that everything that happens to her is okay. And I know that, but like the little stuff like that. And then you have the subs get all outraged, and they're like, oh my God, I can't believe they did that to you, Natasha. Natasha's just sitting there, and you can see she's like, yep, okay, this is great. This is going to get me the super chats and the views. And, she doesn't have to do anything at all. And then those people, but the problem is that people are getting really aggressive. And they're going over to that other person's chat, and people are taking this way too seriously. Now, I don't know if it's because people aren't getting out as much as they used to. I don't know if it's because, or I have no idea where some of these people came from. But unfortunately, that's what's happening. It's like, but Natasha doesn't want this to stop. she, of course she's going to want things that are like crossing a line or, to stop it. When it comes to like these like this petty shit that happens to her that people are getting all outraged about, that she's like, oh, today this happened. And, she doesn't care. She doesn't care. This is lucrative for her. Are you kidding me? She doesn't want this shit to stop. Why would she? Why would anybody want this to stop? I mean, let's be honest. But the problem is that there are people coming into this game right now that take it to a level that is not okay. And I believe that level has been being, and it's like now at this point, it's like everybody's talking about don't talk about kids, but like they're the same people that are talking. And I'm tired of that shit too, right? I really, really am. And I'm hearing it everywhere. And, I hope you don't mind me using this as an example here, Kim, but people got all up in arms when you posted something from Facebook about Dorothy's kid, and people were all up in arms. Some people were up in arms about that, but like people don't understand though, guys. And I'm not saying I personally don't do that, but what I'm trying to say here though is, people have done some awful shit to Kim too. Saying that because there's stuff going on in their home that maybe because her son has special needs. Now I'm not, that maybe somebody should go check on that because that's not a suitable place. Like that's the kind of stuff people say about her, but it's okay. But where is it not okay? It's not okay either way. But people don't understand that people are hurt. Like, you might not like somebody, but that's taking stuff too far. And I am not, nobody's going to tell me any differently that there are people that are purposely doing this, and it's a joke to them and they like it. Because like I said, I'm not going to mention who it is because I don't need to, but some people need to, when they're screen sharing, not have their private chat up, because yeah, they really shouldn't. So yeah, I don't understand why we're conspiring of, well, I'll do this and, you can do that. And we'll, let's bring up this so we can make that person feel that way and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, okay, well, that's nice. Like, not that I didn't know that people did that, but I don't know. I do see it as though, and I don't like everybody. Well, Kim, yeah, I know. The lyrics from it, that's a good Corn song. I actually almost wanted to come on here playing that at one point, but now I know I can't do that because that'll just be a whole thing. But it's a song that's actually quite appropriate for YouTube. It's Corn, Y'all Want a Single. I used to love that song back in like 2003, 4. Just saying, but because that's Corn lyrics. But right. Oh, you had trolls? Really? Yeah, that needs to end. That's not okay. Actually, in Xylie's chat just now, there was I've never seen trolling quite like that. I'm not inviting them over here, but I've never seen that in my entire life. That was who has the time to do that shit? Makes you wonder. It does. But that's what I'm trying to say though, is that people are all like up in arms about things because they support one side or the other, and they won't look at the fact that like there's hurt going on everywhere. Just because you don't like somebody or just because somebody did, I'm telling you, like, yeah, you like the trolls. Well, it gives you views, right, Xylie? I mean, I don't, this is BeePlus After Dark, guys. I haven't seen that many dicks in years. Like, I mean, come on. I'm not inviting anybody. I'm not inviting people. Sorry. Okay, shut up, Emma. All right. Let's see. It was bad. Yeah, Brittany, you're on so late that I have the time like you're going on right when I'm about to go to bed. And then I'll be like, in and out of consciousness here, but there's been a slow creep, I think. Yeah. Well, right. But and a lot of people haven't been here for a while, and I'm waiting for it because there's going to be a whole conspiracy now about all of this, but I really don't give a shit because when I've talked about it publicly before, out of everybody in this community, I have actually subbed to Kim and Crafton the longest. I subbed to them like last February, maybe. After I think I saw you guys on Critical K's, and I was like, you guys were just like up on as a guest on there, and I was like, I really like these I like this. And I went over and like, I was actually one of the first channels I ever watched on here. Now, of course, I don't agree with everything that everybody does all the time. Like, that's not human. We don't do that. But, I'm just saying, like, people are just ridiculous. Like, people need to know that people have been through a lot in here. And Xylee, I was dying. I was like, oh my God. And the names they come up with for those trolls are, oh my God. Yeah. I'm hoping, like, I'm hoping I'm not jinxing it. I don't, particularly want to deal with that today, but, it is what it is. Yeah, there are a lot of micro pains in this community, huh? Like, good God, guys. Like, yeah. I don't know. Like, I'd rather see something impressive, but guys do stupid, weird stuff, I guess. But that's what I'm trying to say with everything, though. It's just that we've gotten so desensitized about stuff and I think a lot of people have gotten really caught up. There's a lot of people who really strongly don't like Natasha. And I think that was all brought to like a forefront after, like, especially around the holidays. And that actually, you want to know when I started being like, you know what, Natasha, this doesn't feel right to me, was when she was raising all that money for the attorney. I was like, I have seen people with a lot of money try to take stuff off the internet or go after somebody and they fail. So, and then I was thinking to myself, I'm like, well, she's claiming cyber harassment when she treats people the way in my brain, because I have a brain. There are some smart people around. And I do think Natasha's I think Natasha's very smart. But I was like, that doesn't make sense. That can't be right. Like, I don't know. And she could draw that out for years too. And she will. And, people either don't ask, or if they do, they're comfortable with it. And I like I said, guys, I don't think any amount of awareness is going to make it so people stop giving her money. It's not going to work like that. Okay. It's not going to work like that. And honestly, it's just making things worse. And I know that, but on the other hand, though, I don't want people to just give her what she wants and leave it alone. But then again, I don't think she would allow that to happen because she likes the drama and none of this means anything to her. She's so indifferent. You'll have her like sitting there on her panel and all this stuff is going on and she is just calm and she's looking at her phone and she's not even listening to anything. And I don't know. I don't trust it. And like I said, if she really has that stuff happening in her, in her life, like I'm so sorry. Like, that must really suck to have, all of these awful things happen day after day after day to you. I mean, like I said before, I wouldn't gamble if that happened. I'm not lucky. I haven't even won $1 back on a scratch ticket, but gambling's not my thing. So I don't know. And we all do grow and learn, and I'm not above forgiveness. Oh, thank you for stopping by, Athena. I appreciate that. And I agree. I'm a very forgiving person too. And I understand, like, guys, we're not robots either. We're not robots. We are people, human beings behind this screen. So of course, think about in your real life, how you react when certain things happen. You're going to have a reaction. And some of us get a lot, angrier than others. And unfortunately, when you get pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed, which is how a lot of creators here, not myself, I'm not speaking for myself on this, but have been for a really long time now, it just gets enough is enough and you snap. But it's always that one time that you snap that everybody remembers and not all of your redeeming qualities. And I try to not do that. I tried to give Natasha, I was like, maybe I was just angry and I need to, look again and see and I saw the exact same thing. But unfortunately, guys, like, she's very good at, this is what she does. And they don't care. And people are just going to, oh my God. What is talking to me? Something is talking to me. Is it my phone? Oh, that was scary. Hi, Megan. And that's, it's, why is my phone talking to me? Nobody was talking to you. Nobody was talking to you, Siri. Sorry. But no, I'm just, it's gone too far, guys. Like, if we're going to talk about not talking about kids, we need to, that means not talking about kids. Okay. Or parenting or whatever, personally. And we also have to remember, guys, is that what upsets me might not upset somebody else. And what upsets somebody else might not upset me. So I always try to go at things with, like, giving myself wiggle room on either way in terms of, because, there are things that don't bother me. that bothers somebody else. And I have to respect that. So because it wouldn't particularly bother me if somebody said that about me, it might bother somebody else. So, you never know about that either. So what's what, and we're never going to agree on some universal rules on what is, real life and what is this and blah, blah, blah. None of us are always going to agree on that. And that's the problem, because people act in that gray area because they're like, well, that's not a dox. And I mean, I don't know. I think it's violating either way. People are like, you're crazy to bring your dad on here, but it's not my dad's first rodeo with crazy people on the internet. And I don't, good luck. He's not gonna, he knows who I am as a person, and you can tell him whatever you want to. He's going to be like, that's nice. Like, go get some help. But, and that's why I don't do drama all the time, but I'm tired of keeping my mouth shut, and I'm tired of not supporting the people that I want to support, because I'm afraid of what somebody else that I also support is going to think about it. Because not everything is a personal jab at somebody else. The fact that I'm in somebody's chat is not a personal jab at you. It is not anything like that. I like a lot of different people, and that's my right to do. And I'm not gonna, why should I let other people dictate that? But what I hate seeing, though, is that, the people that are just so aggressive for one creator or another, and to the point where it's like harassment. And, that's how I felt. I was, there was one video, right? And it was the video that set all of this in motion, where I think it was after, when was it? It was after, I think, Jess's dad's stuff got put out on just, when she did her thing on that. And I think that's when it was anyway. And I came on here and I did a pre-recording thing because I wanted to just address everybody and everything that was going on, because at that point in time, and, this is just me being honest, guys, and I'll be honest, because we're going to be honest tonight. That's right. All right. We're going to be honest tonight. So I had left Natasha, and I, originally wound up in Granny's little, chat, and there was that, and like I think I was there from almost the beginning, and I like Jess. I do. I like Jess. I think that she's a good person. I do. But I also was not liking the feel of the stuff that was going on over there either, and I said that, and and it had a lot of things, contributing to it, and and that's my right too, right? Okay, like, so I kind of wanted to come do my own little thing. And I kind of started up doing this, and I didn't think anything too much of it, but I did. I started to see things on both sides that I did not care for, and now and I'm not trying. It's not a personal attack on anybody. It really isn't. And it's not even the creator half the time. It's people in the chat. It's the vibe. It's a lot of things, and I feel like, I was in there today, and I like the people in that chat. And I actually had a very pleasant time. So, I just think it's like, I don't know what makes it happen like that. I don't know what changed. I don't know I don't know. I can't put my finger on it, but I was seeing things everywhere. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to say something about everybody. We're going to touch on every single person, and I'm going to say something about them. About what I really think and how I feel. And I recorded it, and I didn't realize that it put a live chat on it. So when I premiered it, I realized somebody texted me, and they're like, that there's a chat, and it's like, really not great right now. And I was like, oh, okay, well, that's wonderful. So I kind of let that go, and I turned it off immediately. So only 15 minutes were shown. And people have gone by just those 15 minutes. And if they did, like, that's probably where half this stuff started from, because nobody even gave me a chance to get to somebody else. They probably only heard me talk about one person or another. And that's what I'm trying to say, though. Like, and I could be wrong. I hate speaking. I don't want to speak for anybody else, because I don't know. And I will not speak for other people. But, I was on social media. I had an Instagram that blew up. I was at 10K by, 2 months in. And when your channel grows that fast and you're not experienced with doing, like, I had never dealt with that before, and it's stressful, and it like, I don't know how to put it, but it's hard to navigate that if you don't know what you're doing, and it can be really stressful. It can make people really on edge and stuff. And I mean, I don't want to assume that that's, but you gotta say, give it to her, though. I mean, Granny's channel is like blew up overnight. I mean, that's a big channel like to have and not know what you're doing. I don't think she's had a channel before, so for me, I'm like, I could kind of understand how that could happen and stuff, but so I don't fault people for stuff like that, and that's not it. And I've said that 1,000 times, and yes, and people have asked, or like I've reached out to people privately. I'm not here to like get into a fight with anybody. I just want to point out the stuff that's going on that I don't think is okay. And the fact that, we don't want Natasha to, play the victim all the time, but we're doing stuff that's like, yeah, that's doing stuff that is kind of just giving her that, but it's hurting a child in the process. I don't like that. But I started with that. Nobody should. I don't like that, and I don't think that should have happened at all, because that's not a jab. That doesn't do anything to Natasha. That's embarrassing to a 14-year-old girl who is at that age where embarrassment, you feel that very strongly. I don't like that. Yeah. Well, Kim, it was because I, embarrassingly enough, had a fan page for a band that I ended up working for, because they noticed that I grew that social media. So yes, but it blew up because they had just released an album, going on tour. So yes, I had 129,000 before I got taken down from behind the scenes nonsense, because it happens everywhere, but not like this. But that, and kids shouldn't be a tool to hurt parents ever. I also don't like people. I don't like this whole notion of loyalty either. I think that it's very skewed. I think that it's not a good definition of it. I'm not saying that I'm not a loyal person, because I can be if you earn it. If you give me a reason to be loyal, then I will be loyal. But I'm also not an echo chamber. I'm not a yes man. I don't always like things that people do, but at the same time, like, that doesn't mean I don't like that person. And I think that gets blurred here. But I don't know. I feel like people are like, I hate seeing when people go into different chats. They're like, well, don't you support so and so? Well, why can't somebody support both? Why can't somebody enjoy two things? Like, I don't see things that, at least the smaller creators on here, I don't see them really doing things that would be a deal breaker as to make that you're morally corrupt because you support this person. There's really only a few things, creators that I would feel that way about. I'm not even talking just about in this community. There's like, if you support this person, then I do question your morality a little bit because of what I see. But I'm also not going to hunt you down and talk. I'm not going to treat you differently because of it. I just note things. I'm an observer, so I'm very calculated, and I have to be. Yeah, it really, and a lot of things are in like black and white thinking, but we also behave on here differently than how we would behave in our real lives. Just because that's what I'm trying to say, though, is that like there are people that I like very much, but just because they've done something that I don't agree with doesn't mean I stop liking them. It doesn't mean that I stop, caring about them if it's like, progressed to that point. It doesn't mean that at all, but I feel like people take it that way sometimes, because I've gotten emails about things like that. I think it was two people, one of which used their name. I'm not going to, say it out loud. It is a subscriber who, when I made that, video about the condolences to Natasha, said that they couldn't support me afterwards. I got two. One of them used their name. The other one didn't, because they didn't like that. And I mean, people have that right. They can like, oh my God, my dogs are the absolute worst. It's past their bedtime. Yeah, it would be boring if we all agreed. And I think drama has a place. Like, it's okay to go back and forth with people and like, bicker. Like, Watts Island was full of that. Were there some things on Watts Island that crossed lines? Yes, but not like this. Not like this. Not all. I mean, not all. I mean, I wasn't aware of some of the stuff that was going on because I wasn't invested in it. I was kind of like a transient sub. I was kind of like bounce around and see what people were saying. And there were some creators that I would get excited when I would see was going live, and more, and I'd try to, be on there for that. But there were different creators here then. It wasn't even, I mean, really, there's not many left, in this community anyways. They've all moved on or are no longer, I don't know what they're doing, but yeah, and it is. And when YouTube becomes not fun, that's when you really need to rethink what you're doing, because YouTube, it got to a point where I wasn't, and I had people tell me, they're like, well, you should make an alt. I don't want to make an alt. I don't want to be anybody but who I am. I just don't. So I don't want to have to go to other people's chats under an alt, to fulfill that, social need. I just think of The Sims, playing the game with like my little green bar for social, because this is how I fulfill that at this point. And I don't want to have to do that. I don't want to be. That's not who I am. I am who I am. I like who I like. There's no problem with that. And I just wish people could. I just think people need to get a grip, is what I think. I think that people need to really take a step back and think to themselves, is what I'm doing contributing to the problem or helping? And I know that, people are always like, oh, well, we like that you're not doing drama. Don't do drama, Emma. Well, as a business person, guys, I have opinions. So I'm gonna state my opinions, because honestly, not doing that hasn't worked very well for me. I have done nothing but lost subscribers in the past month. I have not gained anything. I have lost 126 subscribers. I know people laugh at that, and that's fine. You can laugh. 100, actually, it's probably more than that at this point. Last time I checked, it was 126 in the past month. So anybody that I've gained has been just replacing that. So what that tells me is that either I am like the worst at this in the entire world, and I should just like give up and not do this, which I don't think it is, because I actually think I'm pretty great. Not to, I don't give myself enough credit publicly, but in my own head, I don't think I'm bad at this at all. I think I have a lot to offer. I think I'm very smart. I think I'm well spoken. I've got this, but I don't think that's what it is. I think what this is that this community likes drama. And I'm not going to do drama in a way that I would be embarrassed by. I would be comfortable with my dad seeing what I'm saying here, and I would be totally fine with that. I'm not going anywhere. No, I don't give up easily either. I'm tenacious as fuck. So the more people hate, the more I'm going to come on here and try to figure it out. And I mean, I know that sometimes I can be boring or I don't make sense or whatever. I mean, I know that. I mean, sometimes my brain is going a mile a minute and I can't help it. And I'm supposed to be highlighting comments, but I can't. I have my silly putty. I have silly putty that I have. Oh my God. And I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing. I mean, if I never grow as a channel, I never grow as a channel. But I think the problem is that I'm not giving people what they want in this market. So if I'm gonna, try to enter a market, if I'm not giving people the product that they want, I really shouldn't be shocked if I don't. So here, I can do that, right? I can still do this. I'm comfortable doing things like this. And guys, I mean, get me to 1,000 subs. I'll have my dad come on here and tell you exactly what he thinks of this situation, because he has thoughts. I've shown some people the texts. Some people have seen them. Because my dad, of course, being who he is, had to research. He saw the video I made when I first came on here, and he was like, "Who's Natasha?" And I'm like, And then at first he thought I was talking about that author, the true crime author from the UK. And he couldn't understand why I was making videos about her. But then I'm like, no, it's not her. And then he sent me a link to another article and was like, I'm like, that's the one. So he has some thoughts on just situations like this in general, and his experience with that. So, I mean, I can do that. I'm like, that's so gimmicky. I don't want to do that. I'll be like, get me to 1,000 and I'll drop those texts. And I'm just kidding. I'm not, I'm already thinking of membership levels. I mean, you guys want to have like a once a month chat with my dad? I can hook you up. I can hook you guys up. So, yeah, but that's the thing. And I was kind of mad at first. I blamed like one person for me losing sub. I don't think that was the problem. What I think the problem was me. The problem is me. The problem was not anybody else. I think that contributed to some of it, because I did have a lot of people unsubscribe after a certain event. I didn't have that, but as it's gone on, it's because I've been quiet about it. It's because, but I know that there are people that don't want drama. So yeah, I know. My dad is supportive of me though, Megan. He likes what I'm doing. He thinks it's a good hobby for me, and he knows it's something I enjoy. And I think that I think that he thinks that Well, it's been good for me, is what I'm gonna say. And I've told him from the get-go about everything. I sent him video clips about it when I first started because I felt like I had to over justify why I was doing what I was doing because, I was raised with like, really strong morals, ethics, values. Like you do not treat people. I am like the black sheep here. But I had to justify it. I was like, oh, my dad's not going to understand why I'm doing this, but he understood. He picked up on that real quick. He gets it. He's just, I was thinking, I found out, yeah. So oh my God, I have to raffle off the books too. I have everybody's name associated with a number in my little bingo thing. So I need to do that. I have 2 copies. I got 2 copies that I have to give away of his on the Pearl Board book. So I have to do that. Yeah, Jen, and that's how I'm going to look at it. And if I make it on YouTube, I make it. If I don't, I don't. But I think the problem for me is that, if you don't have like another creator like that you can network with, I just, in this community anyway, it's not going to work. So I have had some creators that have been very helpful for me growing my channel, which I appreciate a lot because I'm not somebody that people know on here. I was kind of like a new person on the scene, and here I am. People don't really know much about me, and I tend to be a little bit more passive, but that's only like what I put out publicly. Like I don't have 2 different selves, but I've had to in my entire life kind of filter myself and refine myself just because of how I was raised and like, the type of people that I've, grown up and associated with. I have a very professional vibe to it. But if you know me personally, I can get a little bit more colorful. So yeah, I get that. Drama is anxiety. And I know that by doing this tonight that I'm going to be mentioned at least one time tonight, probably in the middle of the night when I'm sleeping, and I won't even notice because, there, no offense. I mean, Brittany, you were on like all night last night. I woke up in the middle of the night and I'm like, oh, sweet Lord, she's still on here. Which, I could probably do that too, but my dog's probably going to like, yeah, she's gonna start like throwing herself at the door in a minute. She's mad at me. My dog's very mad at me. That's okay though. She'll deal with it. But that's the thing. Like I can present myself very well when I need to, and I don't know, how do I put this nicely. It's hard for me to get past that. Like when people used to call the house when I was a kid, I had to answer the phone. I couldn't, or even in general, I couldn't say, what I had to say, pardon. And I used to get made fun of that all the time. Like we didn't, very proper. Everything was very proper growing up. So I kind of adopted that to myself, but my brain doesn't work right. So I stutter and I say a lot of words that I stutter. I sound just like my birth mom actually, but nature versus nurture. I don't know. Good mix of both. But that's the whole thing about it though, is that I don't keep my mouth shut. Like anybody who's talked to me privately knows that I do get kind of angry. I can get very sarcastic. I can get very snarky, and I do feel very deeply about things, but not for a long time. I get over things very quickly. Or else I don't, because there are some things though, because I'm an observer and I note things. So if somebody does something to me, I will remember that. And it doesn't mean that I need them to be my enemy. I don't need to, tear them down or whatever. It just means that I don't trust them and I will keep them at arm's length and I just don't fuck with them. That's what it is. Now, if you really piss me off, then, that's another story, but I'm a really easygoing person. I do think that, right. And that's the thing though, is a lot of people are standing up for themselves at this because but like, when does it stop? And unfortunately, like, I'm not in a position where I can tell anybody how to run their channel or what to do, because that's not my place, because nobody knows how they would react to a specific situation if you've never been in that situation. And I can't, it would be really easy for me to just say, because I'm just using the 2 bigger channels here. So like, it would be easy for me to say, Natasha, just, if Granny does something to you, just don't react. Or, Granny, if Natasha does something, just don't react. It's easy to say that, but when it's happening to you, I mean, I have no right to tell people not to stand up for themselves. But unfortunately, like, I don't know how this is going to stop, because I don't think, I mean, we know that Natasha's not going to She's not going to stop at this point. And it's unfortunate because I do think some people would like to do something different with their channel, and it's hard to do that. But like I said, I do think that there are some unique channels here. There really, really are. So I think that, I don't know. I always am skeptical. The creators that people talk the most shit about, I like to give those people a chance because usually there's a reason that people don't like them, and it's usually not a good reason. It's usually for something different. So I actually find myself to gravitate towards like problematic, quote unquote, problematic people. Which is probably why, I went in, like, because I knew I had heard all the things about Natasha. Of course I did. I actually didn't care for her at first. I found her during the Watts Island thing, and she did not grab my interest at all. I was like, you know what? She's here. I'm indifferent. I didn't subscribe to her or anything like that. I actually didn't really get into that until the Petito case, but it was because, honestly, it was because she was on all the time. So like I didn't miss out on any of that, the coverage of it or whatever. So I mean, people can say that she just streams things. I didn't have a problem with her doing that. If she wants to say she's like the best at true crime, then that's debatable. But I didn't have a problem with her doing that because like it did my job. I didn't have to look for it. But that was when I actually started chatting and stuff. I had never really done that before. I mean, I think I had, I had chatted in Critical Case a few times and regretted it almost instantly. Because you do not have an opposing view there, and it's not her, it's a chat. That was a rough one, but I like to listen to that. That was one of the first ones I found. Actually, Cher was another one, was one of the first channels, and Kim and Crafton those were like the three first channels that I found on YouTube that I would listen to frequently. And I couldn't, I don't know if I hope I'm not offending anybody here. I was never an Armchair Detective fan. I think that was actually the first one, but I put it on. I'm like, who is this dude sitting in a chair in front of a green screen? Like, what? Because I had always heard the term Armchair Detective, and I thought that was a legit term. So I'm like, if this dude can name himself that on YouTube, he must be legit. And I was like, this is not legit. This is not well produced. This is not professional. This is really nonsense. So I was like, that's a lie. That's just my opinion. I never really cared for him personally. I don't understand why people are still doing the Watts case the way that they are. I get it in my recommended all the time, and it's the same people that like how many, oh my God, I don't know, but there's a market for it though. So, good for them for doing it, because it that's the thing about it though, is that you can't fault people for wanting to come on here and grow their channel. And like it or not, I know that there's a lot of people that are older than me on here, and even I get very cranky about this too. So you're not alone. But guys, we need to start accepting that having YouTube or like TikTok be your job is, it is a real job title. Like being a drama creator is a job title at this point in time, whether we like it or not. There are people that make way more money than I do on here, or have ever made on here, just talking shit all day. So unfortunately, guys, like it or not, this is a career for some people. And I don't, they're making good money. And I know it's easy to get really salty about that when you're breaking your back for a company. I get a little salty about that sometimes, especially with like the TikTok, and they're like complaining about like having to make a 30-second TikTok for millions of dollars. I'm like, dude, shut the fuck up. Like, you don't know, children. But that's the thing. I've heard a lot of people be like, well, what's your job? Why don't you? Well, this is a job. I mean, there's no wrong way to, do that. As long as you're being legal and you're not doing anything like awful. I mean, people make money on here. It can become a career. And I know it's a new way of thinking. That's just my opinion. Like I said, I mean, I made very good money on Instagram. More than I ever made breaking my back 40 hours a week. I'll tell you that. But it became not fun once it became a job. I'm not going to lie to you guys. It did become not fun, especially when I got signed on by the band, which I think I'm going to be doing again very, very soon. So that will be interesting, because there's a lot of rules and it takes the fun out of it. But yeah, right. Coco, I get that. And that's what I'm saying though, is that content creators, I mean, it's a legitimate like career path now. I think like they did a survey and a lot of kids say that they want to be YouTube stars. It's one of like, like when people used to say they want to be a firefighter or like a rock star or whatever. A lot of people say YouTube star. And it is what it is. And I feel like, I'm not very technologically inclined. I don't know how to do this shit. I wish I did, and I've always wanted to do a YouTube channel, but I was like, I don't know how. I'm too old. I don't know. Like, I don't like to try new things all the time, but here I am and I'm doing this and I like it because I like interacting with you guys. And I feel like I do have something to offer. I didn't actually even think I could come on here and do anything like that. And here I am. And I don't know. I appreciate each and every one of you. I really, really do, because especially with, I get told every day that people are like, I didn't know you had a channel. And it's because I don't want to go in. Now, there are some people like Dorothy who, shared my link quite often. So there was that. And that did help grow my channel a little bit. But, I understand why creators don't do that too. I understand that as well. So I get why somebody wouldn't feel comfortable with that. So I always just go into it because, believe it or not, that is not what I was doing at any point in this. So contrary to popular belief, at no point was I like trying to do anything like that. I wasn't thinking like that at that point. But my intention is never to come in and just self-promote if I don't like that person, right? I don't do that. I don't want to do that. I see people do that. I see a few people do that, but they go live to live to live to live to live just to kind of slide in there with, oh, I went live about that the other day. If you hear me say that, it had nothing to do. I don't think before I speak sometimes, and I think I was just trying to, yeah. Oh, well, Crafton's got it down to like a science. Like he's got the whole soundboard thing going. I don't know how to do any of that stuff. And I mean, I like you. You guys have some interesting content. I'm excited that he's moved on from the bus to an airplane though. That's kind of neat. I didn't realize that is it like a flight simulator or is it a game? I didn't realize that there was a bus game like that, but that's what drew me to you guys in the first place. I was like, this is interesting. I haven't seen anything like this before. But thank you, Denise. I try to do, like, I've always tried to do my own thing. I don't want to try to copy anybody. They say in marketing, they say, either do something different or do something better. And that's, I don't feel that I can do anything better than anybody else. Not really. But I can do things differently and maybe better, but I'm not here to compete with anybody here. I'm not here. That's not what I'm here for. I'm not here to have a channel just like somebody else's. I can't, because I'm my own person. I'm very different than most people on here. And that's not a good or a bad thing. It's just, it is what it is. I'm a different personality type than a lot of people on here as well. Because I think I give off the impression that I'm too nice. I will not be walked on either though. I let it go because it's the internet. And honestly, I don't really care. Oh, but thank you for stopping by. Thank you, Amber. I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. Oh my God, my dogs are the worst. Sometimes I wonder why I have dogs, but it's a simulator. Yeah. New scenery though. Seriously. I dig it. I dig it. Next time you should do like the farming simulator with like the tractors and stuff. I always make fun of it. My friend and I always make fun of it. We're like, oh, it's the game of the year game, editor's edition farm simulator 2022. Like, what a treat. Sorry. It's getting late. Yeah. And I actually, when I came on here, I am confident, right? I know who I am. I know what I'm not. What I wasn't ready for was people making up lies. And I should have known. Like, I don't know why in the back of my head, I thought to myself, if I just am nice, people won't lie about me. That's not true. People are going to lie about you no matter what. And actually, if you're nice, they lie about you more because they're like, this isn't normal. This person doesn't belong here. And I've seen things written about myself. And in hindsight, I understand why some people might have thought the way they did. And I don't dislike anybody. Like, it takes a lot for me to really dislike somebody. I mean, there are people that I don't care for, but I don't hate anybody, is what I'm trying to say. And I don't think everybody is beyond, like, redemption in my book. Not everybody, some, but not everybody. And I also am able to separate behavior on YouTube from, like, who I think somebody is as a person. Now, I don't know anybody really well, but I do get vibes from people. There are some people that have been nothing but nice to me that I get really not great vibes from. Just not great vibes from, but just don't trust this person vibes from. For whatever reason. And then there are some people that people think are problematic that I get vibes that this person is genuine. And it was, whatever, it is what it is. But I can talk. Yes, I can, Johnny. I can talk all night long. I don't care. I can talk to myself. I do talk to myself. I'm like an ADHD wreck. My medication wears off around this time too. So I'm just like, oh, squirrels. Oh, I don't know, guys. I don't know. My dogs are also really distracting, but I don't know, guys. I appreciate everybody that has supported me though, and I really do, because what I don't like is the fact that I feel like there have been people that don't come to my channel and don't, because I had somebody, and I do not tell me I don't get the emails I get, because I have gotten them, and I framed actually one of them. I did frame the one that I read out loud and shared with you guys. I did frame that one, and it is on my, like, right above my desk, because it was that funny. So whoever sent that one to me, that I should check myself into me and my boyfriend should check ourselves into a mental institution and tell them that Jesus Christ sent us there, because that's who I need to worry about. That's great. I don't know who you were sending it to, because I don't know who my boyfriend is, but that was interesting. But that's the whole, that's the thing though. Like, I got an email. I get emails about a lot of like weird stuff with people that, because people they'll send things. Half the time they don't send it under their actual name. And half the time I think they're just testing me and trolling to see what I do with it. But maybe that's my YouTube brain thinking, because, but people do that shit. I don't know. But yeah, people are, I don't know. I try my very best to try to make everybody happy here. Like, I really do. I never came on here to like hurt anybody in any way. And I have hurt some people. And that was never my intention on here, because I'm usually able to tell when people are, genuine good people at heart. Because I'm a good person, and I know I am, but I have done some really shitty things in my life, like really shitty things. But under different circumstances. Now, it's not an excuse. I've done those things. It was me. There's no way around that. I've had to accept that for myself personally, that I did those things, but it doesn't make me a bad person. Because I'm a really caring person. I'm very, I hate the word loyal, but like, if you give me a reason to back you, I do. And nothing changed. Like, I've always been like that. And I think it was kind of a problem at one point here, but I don't know. I can't, it's not in my nature to just, manipulate people and stuff. And that's just my whole thing. I don't know. I'm like trying to make sure my dogs aren't like eating my headphones, because they actually destroyed a $300 pair of headphones today. So I told Molly, I was like, Molly, this is like $1,500 worth of shit that you've destroyed. She chewed up my custom Ray-Bans. She chewed up my Apple Watch. She chewed up these, this is nice Sony headphones that were like $300. She a pair of AirPods, anything that's expensive that, I leave or put on a table. I don't know how she got my Ray-Bans. I'm fucking pissed about those. Those were some custom Ray-Bans. And I don't have the money for that anymore. So, and I like my sunglasses, because I'm like, I can hide behind them, I guess. I don't know. I'm kind of weird. Plus, I can't see in the sun, especially. So, but I appreciate everybody that comes here, and I appreciate, okay, I remember where I was going with that. I had somebody email me, not people, one person email me and say that they wanted to say hello to me in a specific chat, but didn't, because they didn't know how that creator felt about me. Now, that's a problem, guys. And I'm not discrediting them for feeling that way, because I get that. I'm not saying that they did anything wrong, but the fact that like they don't go for the cheap stuff. Never. I wish they did, because I have so many pairs of cheap sunglasses they could have done that with, like from Amazon. But no, my custom Ray-Bans, which I replaced, but I got a different pair. I didn't get the Wayfarers. I got they're like Erica, I don't know, or something. I don't like them as much. I like my Wayfarers. Never the Walmart cheap stuff. I wish. Yeah. My dogs are very spoiled though too. Yeah. Oh my dog's ate a shirt the other day too. So there's that. It's because she's a working breed and she doesn't get to go do work. So she's a rescue. Nobody else wants her. And I love her to death. I like my problematic things. So she and I vibe. Um, but yeah, I don't know, guys. Yeah, no matter how, right, Denise, I see that too. And my mom and my dad always raised me like that too, is treat others as you'd like to be treated. And I was never a bully per se. I was bullied very badly. And in turn, I took that out on other people. So I don't know what that makes me. There's a word for that though. And ever since then though, I've just been like hyper vigilant about things like that. And what dawned on me though is that some people don't care that I do this. So if they don't care, then I'm going to do it. Like, I have things to say, so I'm going to say those things because I'm noticing stuff. As somebody who does business and marketing, I mean, Natasha's a fascinating case study about how to toe that line, real fine line there. And I mean, I think she does know what she's doing with that. I mean, I think that ultimately, like, something will go wrong or happen, but she's a very fascinating case study. What I don't like about that though is and also guys, so I did a poll on that, and at least YouTube took it down. I don't know why, but nobody openly told me that they felt financially taken advantage of. Now, I don't know if that's just because people don't want to say that publicly, or I don't know. But I can see how I don't know if taken advantage of, but well, I actually, what, that works. And I feel like that's a lot of business though too, but Natasha, she knows what she's doing on that. And I think what happened though is that her channel was never that big. And then the Petito case. So she kind of just like, I hate saying that she lucked out with that because that's a horrible thing to say because that's, a murdered young girl. But I don't have any better way to put it. But, and I was like, I'm tired of seeing that. It's just the unethical nature of it. There we go. That bothers me a little bit. Not a little bit. Because I like to sell with integrity, and people always made fun of me for it. Now, yes, I, went toe to toe with another employee at one point. And she was really great. She could manipulate people into filling up that basket and getting enormous sales. And it drove me crazy because I was like, there is nothing that she has that I don't have, that I don't do. But I would build relationships with customers. I would recommend products that I could stand behind. I wasn't going to have have a customer buy a product that they could get significantly cheaper elsewhere just for the markup, because it was like, a really high, oh God, I can't even remember the correct terminology for it, but high, oh God, I'm dumb right now. My brain doesn't work, but and I wasn't willing to do that. So I would recommend things that I actually used, because it was pet stuff. And I was able to build that with the customers, and ultimately I was the one who got the promotion because she got everything returned. People were like, you know what? I don't like the fact that this woman is pushing all of this stuff and upselling and selling us stuff and telling us things are great when they're not. And ultimately I was the one who got the promotion because I built those relationships. I was the reason customers came back and they trusted my judgment and all of that. So I think slow and steady does win the race for me personally, although I do think that I, need to at times to kind of get the process going, do a little bit of that because I'm okay with it. I can upsell with the best of them. I mean, I can, I'm sorry. I can sell just about anything, but I don't feel comfortable doing it in a way that's shitty or manipulative. Like, I'm not going to sell somebody something that's like really bad for their dog just because it has a high profit margin. I'm not going to do that. So, it is what it is. And I feel like there's a fine line there. And I am good at slow growth. That is. Well, slow growth is one thing. The fact that I haven't gained any subscribers since like before Valentine's Day, that's a whole other thing. That's not a really good sign for a channel. That's not really, I try not to look at it because it makes me depressed. So, but I don't know. It is what it is, and I'm gonna do what I'm doing. I'm not gonna keep my mouth shut about stuff. I'll use names. I don't care. I kind of toned it down. Not toned it down a little bit today, but only because of what was going on with everything recently. I was watching Xylie's live and I was like, I felt like she was looking right at me at that camera. I'm telling you, I thought she was looking right at me, scolding me. And I was like, I know that I was not the one who like really had a problem in this, but that spoke to me. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to be a piece of shit today. I'm gonna play it safe here. But and I think that people do need to hear that though. I think that there is such thing as too low, and it's all well and good until it happens to somebody that you know you care about or to you. And a lot of people say it's okay because it's happening to one person or the other. I've literally heard people say that before out loud, that it's okay because it's one person, a certain person that they don't like. And I'm not down with that. But unfortunately, and I saw this coming from a mile away, guys. People, anybody, I mean, I'm telling you, I saw this. I was like, you know what? If things don't go well here, like this is not going to go well. But yeah, I have books too, Kim. I bought 2 books on it, and a lot of it focuses less on lives and more on like content creation, which I do. It's time consuming as fuck. And I haven't done it as much lately. Even though I could, because I have no problem making like, I don't know. I did like doing the clip videos. I did. And yes. And I've always, yeah. Hold on. Yeah, right. And I feel like, yeah, Coco, I agree. And I was like, oh my God, like at least somebody's saying it. And she's right though. I mean, people in this community should be saying it too. But people, I think that there are people that do. I know I've called some things, and not everything that I should have. There were times that, I probably should have said something more publicly about something because I am a creator. But I just want people to know that just because I didn't say something publicly does not mean I did not say it privately, because I really tried to do it first that way. And I just don't think everything has to be public, especially if I consider you a friend at that time or somebody I'm friendly with. I would prefer to go to, but I don't play that. We're not going to do that anymore because that's gotten me in nothing but trouble. So, and nobody does it to anybody else. So why should I? But it's true. It's true. And we shouldn't be doing that. We shouldn't be doing that. And I like I said, I could see this coming just because I saw the type, and there are people that come from other, yeah, I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked that some people would go that low, but I really encourage people to think media. I'll look at it. I'll check it out. Because honestly, I mean, I was looking at all those things and I'm like, and I feel bad saying it because I'm not better than anybody else. I don't think I'm better than anybody else, but when I've taken a look and I'm like, what are the channels here that are growing? And I'm looking around and I'm looking at the channels that are growing, and then I'm looking at myself and I'm like, really? Like, I'm not a hiding without borders. I think everybody is unique and has their own thing to offer. But when I kind of put myself against something, I'm like, there is no reason that person should be doing better than me. And I can be a little bit competitive like that, but I think it's because the one person I'm thinking of, it's because I mean, I know why people like that kind of stuff. I get that. But, I can do that kind of stuff too. I mean, I'm not just like a one track thing. Like I do have feelings. I do have a voice. I do have, yeah, it is. And Kim, unfortunately, that's just how this is. And I've had to accept that. And but I just think that we could do this without going low, to the point where we are talking about things that really just aren't topics that should be addressed, like people's children or, your situation with Crafton, like that should not have, I mean, I don't think that should have been brought on here at all. And that's not an easy situation for you to have to, address. I get it. I don't like the fact that happened. I don't really like the fact that Natasha's stuff has been on here either. So I feel like that kind of stuff should just be put on the wayside. I don't think we should be making fun of people's medical issues. I don't think that's funny. I don't think that that's something that we should be making fun of, whether it be anything. Like, I don't know. Apparently I'm making up being in recovery to, be an undercover agent and get information. Like, what? I'm never going to get over that. When I heard that, I was like, what the actual fuck? Like, yeah. And that's what I'm trying to do though, Megan, is that, at this point, I'm just calling it how I see it with things. And I've been making a list about certain things because as somebody who does, I had a few things I needed to address here. Um, right. And you shouldn't have to though, Kim, and I was like, people are like, oh, well, then they shouldn't have said anything at all. I disagree with that. I feel like, you know, I don't know. This is your community. So if something was going on, you wanted to communicate. I mean, I could be wrong. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And like, it's a complicated situation. So, I mean, you kind of can't make everybody happy. You want to put something out there, but it's hard and it's complicated. So it's not their business. It's not their business. And that's the same thing with that though. When people are showing like people's oh god, like records and stuff, I have no interest in that. I on anybody's side, I don't care about that stuff. And that goes for Natasha as well. Like, I don't care about what she did or didn't do or whatever. I mean, that doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is what I see on here, because I can't speculate, because you never know. So I will give her that, but that doesn't mean that I'm willing to, I don't know. I think it's gone a lot lower than that. Hi, Irvin. The whole children thing, like, especially with a teenager, because when I was a 14-year-old, if somebody did that with my diary, oh my God, I would be mortified. I would be horrified. Like, it would be really bad, because you feel embarrassment so much stronger then, at that age. And, I don't know. And I don't like the excuse of, well, then she shouldn't have put it out there. I don't like that either, though, because I just think the whole situation is fucked. And I don't appreciate, I don't think that's right. Especially because she's still a teenager. It's not like they were sharing somebody, like, if somebody was to share my journal from when I was 14, it would be embarrassing as fuck. And I don't think I'd come on here for several days. It was called The Book of Emma, and I still have it somewhere. It's something. I kept a diary almost daily from ninth grade till my freshman year of college. So yes. Yeah, doxing in general. But I think that, like, people are going by the, well, you've been doxed once, so you can't be doxed again. I don't know. I think it's violating no matter how you do it. Yeah. Like, and what was the point of it without borders, right? I mean, when I was a teenager, I wrote stuff like that too. I mean, I actually have an entire entry that I was like inspired to read to you guys because of that, because it's similar. Teenagers, we feel things, if a parent or parental figure says no, you don't like them. And it's, I get that. And I'm not, negating the fact that, maybe there's, I don't know, but it's not my business what goes on in her house with that. That's not my business. And I'm not comfortable assuming that I know about anything. I've shared things about my, so. Right. Yeah. It doesn't though, right? Like, it doesn't make it okay at all. I don't think that that's right at all. I don't think that people, I know for a fact, I don't think that, yeah, I don't know. Because that has nothing to, I don't know. I do know. I think it's gross. And I'm not happy with it. Because, like, you can't, when I heard, because I actually switched it off very quickly. Wait, I didn't block, wait, what, Michelle? What happened? I don't know. I see you. I can't see everything, but yeah, when I was a teenager though, I wrote things that sounded very similar to a lot of that. I had one that I remember, the entry ones. I hate being too young to drive. My parents don't let me go in any other teen's car, and I hate it. And I'm stuck here, and I hate them, and I'm in this lonely place, and I have no friends. And it probably, it's actually quite verbatim. Oh, okay, Michelle. I think that's probably very, very, very accurate description of that particular one. But I always said that. I mean, I hated my parents. I hated them so much back then. And obviously, I've learned to appreciate them. I love my parents very much, but it hasn't always been that way. And I grew up in a really strict household where it was very strict, and I had my own issues and stuff. So it's a whole complicated situation. And I really want to find that journal. I was looking for it all day today, and I cannot find it, and it's bothering me because that thing should never leave this house. But hold on. Yeah, that's true without borders, unfortunately. I see how that happens too. No, I'm not a teenager. No, I'm 33. So I'm old. not old, but 33. I feel old. My back feels old. I'll tell you that. But no, I see your point though. Without Borders, it's that if you're a mod for somebody, unfortunately, like people will associate you with one particular thing when people are multi-dimensional, and I don't think that I don't like that at all. I also don't like the fact that, there are people that I see going into different chats and people automatically attack them like, you have to pick a side because it's like a war or something. Like, I really don't give a shit about that kind of stuff. And I will go wherever I damn well please. And, because I like the people. Like, what's wrong with that? I don't, it frustrates me. It frustrates me. And the one thing that frustrates me the most, though, do not, like, if you're in a chat and you have an issue with somebody in that chat, like, don't disrupt their chat to go after somebody on there. It's distracting. And I'm not saying somebody did it to me and I was like, dude, please leave me alone. I don't know you. We don't know each other. You don't come to my channel. I don't even know what you're talking. It was stupid. I was annoyed. I was just very, very annoyed by that. But yeah, Kim, my stuff is very angsty. I went to programs for troubled teens. I was at a wilderness program, and then I went to 2 different programs, one of which was really awful. The second one, not so bad. But, I've had an interesting upbringing, and I actually keep it because it's like a good lens into my past. And I like that because I don't know. I've always been a really like intellectual person and very quiet, but I write very nice. I write well, so I like to revisit it from time to time, because it gives you a perspective of like, because a lot of the time I don't feel like I've aged very much at all mentally. But the truth of the matter is that my frontal lobe, I can tell you when it developed. It was in my late 20s, and things that felt like the end of the world back then, like it doesn't bother me like that anymore. Like, if you find out that somebody doesn't like you back, like somebody had a crush on, like it used to like ruin I thought my life was over, and it was like the worst thing that could have ever happened. And now I'm just like, whatever. But I had a live journal too. And then there was another thing called Zanga. I had one of those as well. That was like really big at the boarding school I was at. Everybody had a Zanga, and it's still up there. And if anybody ever found it, actually my live journal, this is the embarrassing one. Oh, good God. My interests on the live journal was really, really something. I think I put possums as like an interest, and I'm not really sure how possums are an interest. I was a really weird kid. I'm still very weird. Yeah, I'm glad I didn't grow up in social media too, because I don't think I'd be able to I don't know if I'd be able to handle what the kids handle these days. Not that I'm not a strong person, but it ended when I would leave. Well, we had AIM, so I mean, I guess, but yeah, it's not like it is today. At least I could go home and get away from people. Nowadays, it's like, because your kids are attached to their phones. They're always on their phones. I swear that we're going to have a new like evolutionary like an adaptation to their hands and their necks, hopefully, because my neck is like dying from like being on my phone so much. But I don't know. You can't get away from it. And kids are cruel, especially like on the internet. I don't know. Like I don't feel like kids were that bad when I was growing up. Not in that way anyway. But good God, like I don't know if I could deal with that. I don't. Oh, the internet is a blessing and a curse, guys. It really is. Hold on. Wait, let's see. Where's she truly one? Yeah. Wait, I swear I can read. I swear I can. I think a lot of us had rough teenage years. I definitely did. And I'm a better person because of it, though. I mean, it is what it is. And I wouldn't change it for anything either. It's made me an interesting person. Everything, I don't want to say it's made me stronger, because it's made me effing miserable, but it definitely has prepared me for anything that life could possibly throw my way. I have already dealt with it. So it sucks, but it's not something I don't recognize and that I'm not able to handle. And I think that gave me an advantage over other people in college anyway, because I'd already been away from home. I wasn't, yeah, but that it is what it is. It's not for the good reasons. So hold on. Hi, Earthbound Spirit. You just got home from work, huh? Yes, I should be I should be doing homework, but I was like, I need to come on here and talk because I'm just pissed off by the stuff I'm seeing. Like, it needs to stop, guys. It needs to stop. Like, I understand, especially for large creators, that this is what brings in money. I understand that, and I see that, and I see you, and I see your point. But at the same time, we cannot be doing the stuff that's been going on because it's just going to go lower and lower and lower and lower. And I'm not really sure how much lower we can get, but every time I say that, I am like, surprised the next day. So all I'm asking for, and we could do measurable goals, guys. We could do some smart goals here. So we can do some measurable goals. And all I'm asking is that we just leave children, family members out of it entirely. Don't mention it. Don't reference it. Don't acknowledge it. Nothing. They don't exist. Not on here on YouTube. And I would go into people's medical issues as well for that. If we could just do that, that would be a great start. That would be a great start because I just want that crap to stop. I can't. There are just too many people that just do really awful stuff on here, and it's subscribers too, and I hate saying that, but it is. And I don't know where people get some of the stuff that they do. I don't have the time to go digging on people and stuff like that. I don't have the time to do that. I don't know who does, but if you're gonna, I mean, I'm sure somebody already has dug on. I mean, I'm sure they have. Not that I've like completely doxed myself. I mean, my dad, I don't technically have the same last name. I mean, not really anyway. So, there's that. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think both. There's two faults in that. I don't think that any of that. No, I'm not against reading your kid's diary. I'm going to be straight up with you guys. I'm not, depending on your situation with your kid and, what's going on with that. I don't think that it should never happen. I don't know about taking pictures. I don't know how that whole situation went down. I didn't watch everything last night, and so I don't feel comfortable speaking on that at this point, how that all came to be. So all I know is that if I was her niece, that would be really embarrassing for me. And I don't want to, be part of something that embarrasses a child. So that's all. That's all. I just think there's a lot of stuff going on that we really could stop, and it probably wouldn't affect your bottom line that much to stop. And I think that some of the larger channels, at least, everybody has a larger channel. You guys have a following, like, and people are going to be there no matter what. But unfortunately, I don't have a solution, guys. I don't have a solution. I don't. I wish I did. All I can do is manage what I do on my own channel, and what I'm not going to do on my channel is I'm not gonna allow that kind of stuff. But I can't say, I can't force people to behave in a certain way, and I can just behave. I can just control what happens on my channel, and if that helps, then that's great. That's all I can do, though. That's all I can do, and I just hope that other people will realize that your dislike of somebody on the internet. Well, think about it. Why do you dislike? Some people have had things personally happen to them. I'm not one of them, so I've just witnessed behaviors that I don't like. And for me, that's I'm going to speak on it, like, commentary wise, but I know that there are some people that have been very, very hurt, but there are other people that just get really angry. They look for a reason to get angry and like latch on to that. And I don't know if it's an outlet for them. I don't know if it's because they want to be part of something. I'm not sure what the deal is with that, but it is. And I see it happening, and I got caught up in it too. I'm not a mean person, but I've said some mean shit about people here that I don't know. And it's just the truth. And before I was a creator anyway, because I got caught up in stuff, and I have said things I'm not proud of. I have not always been my best self on here, and I'm not proud of that either, because I've said things about people I literally don't know, or I only know what one person has told me about them, and that's not a good way to get information on people. Because usually it's the people that people hate the most that actually aren't that bad, usually, sometimes, depending on what you're looking for. But that's why I always am drawn to controversial people, because I feel like it's easy for people to hate people like that. And I don't always think it's justified. Now, some people, it is very justified for people to dislike them. I will say that. It's not like an 100% of the time kind of thing. But, I do. It depends on how controversial, but I do. I mean, sometimes people just get mad for stupid reasons. But the children, I don't think anybody's children should be anything. Yeah, and I have grown from right without borders is, and I've said that actually was one of the first things is one of the people that I've said some of the worst things is about Kim before. And when I was in Natasha's chat, I didn't know her. And, not as a person. And not that when I say I've said something mean, it's probably not what anybody's thinking. It's probably something that somebody would be like, I didn't even notice that you said that. I will be honest about that. But I had said some things about her that, I didn't know. And this was a long time ago. But I now know her side of the story. And I should, I should take everybody's side into account. Hi, Navigator. I've said some things about a lot of people, in terms of like creators that I didn't know when I was a subscriber, and I did just the way it is. But like I said, guys, for me saying something, I said something mean. It was probably something stupid that they didn't even notice, but it's mean to me. So yeah, right. And that's the thing. Yeah. I mean, yeah. And I didn't really I had always I'd watched your guys' channel, but I didn't really know much about you guys. And, there were other people in the community and obviously people weren't getting along or whatever. And then I would hear something about that. And I'm like, oh, well, I didn't know that. Well, and it turns out that it's not even true. Or if it is true, there's like a really complicated reason behind it that isn't like easy to explain. I've seen that for a few people, but I wonder what happened to some of the Watts Island people. I do know where some of them are, but others of them, I'm like, they just vanished off the face of the earth. And I don't know. It wasn't like this, guys. It sure as fuck was not like this. And I almost wish, everyone's like, oh, Watts Island was so bad. I miss Watts Island comparatively. But I don't know, guys. It is really hot in this room. This is like it's an addition to the house. And it is the one room they did the heating right in. And it's like all around heating. And it could be really cold in the house. And it will still be deathly hot in here. And I don't know why I've been sleeping in this room. I don't know why, but I am here. So yeah, you broke out of, the island. I don't know. Yeah, it was not, I don't even know what happened over there. I feel like it was a long time ago, but it wasn't. But yeah, I don't know. I have a bed in here. It's like the guest room. And I don't know. Sometimes I like to switch up mattresses, if that makes sense. Cause I have a purple mattress in here and I have a Casper in my other room. And they're very different mattresses. So I was like, I couldn't sleep. And then last night I woke up and I'm like, I have to open all the windows and the door and put 2 fans on. And I don't think I can survive in this room without an air conditioner. And it's that bad. And it's still pretty cold here at night. So, I mean, I'm not in anywhere where it's hot yet, but I'm like, oh, it's really hot in here. But I do need to go take my dogs out and put them in their crates and put them to bed because they like their crates. If I've tried to leave them out before because I was crate training them when they were puppies and they prefer to be in their crates. Molly probably would just wander around, but Traveler's really attached to her. So if she's not there with him, he screeches all night long. So, and he doesn't want me. He wants Molly. It's kind of cute, I guess. But yeah. Hold on. I'm trying to catch up on these things here. But I just wanted to come on here. Your one dog loves her crate. Yeah, my dogs don't mind their crates. I mean, and I say crate time, and they go right in, and they usually don't give me. They're quiet all night. It's when the minute you let them out is when they start to not be quiet. But yeah, she likes. Oh, Kenny. I love mini schnauzers. And I like them because they're cranky. The one I knew was cranky. My parents' friend had one named Frango that was really elderly when I was a little kid and really cranky. And you weren't supposed to touch her. And she was such a bitch to me. And I don't know, I miss her. I thought it was great. The more she hated me, the more I wanted to pet her. And yeah, she was a mini schnauzer. And yeah, she's a very cranky old lady. But yeah, you know what, Mrs. B, though, the thing is that, as much as on the internet, you never know. But I don't. Yeah, I think that people do say things in confidence, and the problem is I've learned on YouTube is that I don't trust anything not to be shared. I like to hope that people wouldn't, but unfortunately, you just never know. You never ever know. So yeah, YouTube friends, I think and I have to go into it knowing that though, is that, if push comes to shove, I can't expect anybody to have my back except myself. And I'm okay with that. And I have to be okay with that because it is what it is. It doesn't mean I have to be enemies with somebody, but yeah, YouTube is it's a different realm in general. It's like a whole different, and there's like no rules here either. I mean, there are rules, but like not really. So it's really different. There are people that behave very differently online than they would in real life. And I think that's part of the problem. I don't think half these people would say anything like that in public, but yeah, my cranky pet. I love old animals too. I would never like I don't think I could ever adopt an elderly animal because I would be heartbroken if, not to have a long time with my pet, but I have a thing for old dogs. It's funny because my sister used to make fun of me. We'd be walking down this like a main street. I'd be like, "Oh my god, it's a dog! Oh my god, it's old!" And I did that at work once a few times. I worked at a pet store, like a boutique thing, and I was like, "Oh my god!" And the owner was like so disgusted that I would say that. I'm like, "No, it's a good thing. Like I'm not making fun." But yeah, and I don't have any senior pets. I have a cat who I've had for a long time. He's 10, but other than that, my dogs are Molly will be 5 in October and Traveler will be 4 in July. And Chicory is I don't even know how old Chicory is. Chicory is 7 maybe, and Domino, who knows? I don't know how old Domino is. Bitchy old lady. I think I like that though. Like when I'm old, I hope I don't give any fucks and I just am that old person. I don't care. Like get off my property, stupid kids. I'm here for it. I'm kind of at that point at this point right now. Yeah, 10-year-old cat is considered a senior. Yeah, that's true. That's true. He does have his senior diet. He does, but I really don't think that there's much of a difference. I mean, nutritional, I guess it's less protein content, I guess. But that's I'm a certified pet nutritionist, guys. Did you guys know that? I wouldn't ever like I had to for this job. It's like from UC Davis. Don't ask me about it though, because I don't know shit. Like just because I'm an expert doesn't mean I know much about it. I do know some things, but not like they want me to present myself. I was never comfortable with that. I was like, I'm supposed to say I'm a what now? Like oh no. And that's the other thing. I heard somebody the other day, I'm not gonna mention any names of this because I don't feel like doing that, but they were like, I have a bachelor's degree in criminal justice, so I'm an expert on this. I'm like, well, I have a bachelor's degree in criminal justice too, and I don't remember half the shit they taught me. And I'm pretty sure I probably graduated more recently. But I don't know. There's that. I have a problem with that. There's a lot of people that misrepresent themselves places, but I hope that people can see in time that like I am exactly who I say I am. And I don't, I would never intentionally misrepresent myself. I don't know how someone would unintentionally do it, but if somebody feels that way, then it is what it is. But I'm just goofy. I'm 33. I mean, I'm not old, but I'm just goofy. My brain is mile a minute. I talk too much. I think a lot of people are probably grateful that you guys listen to me, and I kind of enjoy listening to me talk and not me having to go and talk to them. So there's that as well. But yeah, I always try to be quiet with my dad though, because I always can tell when I'm talking too much or not making sense. And I'm just gonna shut up and let you talk. But yeah, I love older fur babies. I do have a thing for old dogs and kitties. Especially dogs though. Especially dogs. And I have the thing for like small little white floofy dogs. I especially if they're old, like old Shih Tzus. We had this really elderly Shih Tzu named Babe that would come in a lot, and Babe was like the sassiest thing in the whole world. She hated me. She hated everybody except for her owner. And yeah, A really, 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 really yappy dog would growl at anybody who would come near her owner. And yeah, that's my whole attitude to Megan, though. And I'm standing by that is that if people want to judge me based on where I am, that says more about you than it does me. I am the same person wherever I go. I like the people I like. The people I like don't always like each other, but that doesn't change how I feel about them. And it doesn't change the fact that I am just who I am. It is what it is. And I'm not gonna pretend to be anybody else, and it's more about them than it is me, and I truly believe that. Um, yeah, I I need somebody to tell me I'm rambling. I need somebody to be like, "That's enough, Emma. You've spoken enough." My mom will literally put her give the quiet sign to me at times, and I hate her for it, but I love her at the same time for doing it because sometimes I really do need to just shut up. And I write novels of I just write streams of consciousness, and yeah, sometimes I have to like purposely go back and try to put things into paragraphs or delete things because I'm like, that doesn't make sense. But anybody who talks to me privately, which I don't talk to that many people privately, honestly, but it's just streams of consciousness, and I feel bad because it makes me look crazy. I'm not crazy. I just have ADD, and it's how we function. I have all these fidget toys too, and I have a new one here. It's like this thing. Actually, I think Natasha had one of these. It was it came in this variety pack from Amazon, and it has these bubbles in it, and you turn it upside down, and it's I don't know. It's yeah. Wait, hold on. Yeah, and I do try to say hello to people else. Right, right. I think everybody. It doesn't have to be this serious, guys. I just want people to be able to be happy and go where they want to go, and not have it be this whole thing where people don't feel that they can be comfortable to go anywhere. And I felt uncomfortable going places. I can't even tell you. I'm going to be honest because I don't care anymore. I will be honest with my thought process here. There were times that I was hovering over a chat and said, I would text Michelle and be like, should I do it? And I shouldn't care. There's no reason for me not to talk in chats that I like. I shouldn't even be asking that question. That's stupid. I'm a grown woman and I don't know why I care. And I really had to think about it though. I was like, you know what? I need to stop that right the fuck now because life is too short. It's YouTube. If somebody wants to judge me for being in a certain place, then that's on them. That is not on me. I will go where I like the people and I like the content. And as long as that person isn't being a really huge piece of shit, which honest to God, guys, there's a couple places that I won't go and for good reason, but it's more people that kind of orbit around this community. And it's not so much a lot of the people here, but I also don't go to a lot of the people here. I don't even know half these channels. I don't know half these people. I see new ones come up every single day. And I'm like, who the fuck is this? But here they are, talking about one person or the other. So I don't actually know everybody. Some people have the same names that I recognize from chats, but other creators, I have no idea who they are. I don't watch them. I don't subscribe to them. So, because if I don't like you, I'm not going to subscribe. Well, okay. If I like you as a person, I will subscribe to you even if I don't like your content. That I will do. But if I don't like you at all, then I just won't subscribe. But that's right, and I don't, and that's the thing though, I don't like everybody that people I talk to. I don't like half the people some people like, I'm like, I don't care for that person, but I don't care if you do. That doesn't bother me one bit. I don't care. I mean, I know this, I don't care if people support Dorothy. Go ahead. What? My problem isn't your problem. Or Natasha or whoever, but I'm still going to talk about things. But I really don't care who people support at this point. You can support whoever you want, you choose to. And that is your right as a YouTube patron. And nobody should make anybody feel any differently. And it sucks. And I understand why people don't like modding for people too, though. Because people take that real seriously too. And I've been fairly picky with but I don't really need mods. I appreciate my mods because tonight I thought I was going to have, I thought it was going to be worse than it was. I actually wasn't looking at the chat though, so maybe it was. And I've kind of just been glancing at it. But I appreciate everybody for stopping by. I really, really do. I like seeing new people that I haven't seen. I just appreciate everybody because I wouldn't have a channel without you guys. And as much as like YouTube, as much as I enjoy making content, it wouldn't mean as much to me if I didn't have subscribers that were so supportive and everything like that. Because I think of a lot of you guys as friends, right? Like, as friendly as I can be with people on the internet, I've gotten to know many of you. And, I appreciate that, you choose my channel or come here at all or whatever. Because that means a lot. I didn't think anybody would show up to my first live. I didn't think anybody would watch anything like that. And granted, less people show up to my things, but I don't really mind because I can actually get, talk to people and have those conversations. Because when you get bigger and your chat's flying, I can imagine it gets a lot harder to do that. So, as much as you'd like to give people attention, it's harder. And I like to have conversations. So yes. And I do a whole lot of stuff on this channel. Honestly, I really do. I'm not just going to do drama. I'm not just going to do anything like that. But I am going to do some like softcore drama and, some commentary and anything like that. But if I ever do anything that's over the top, like call me out. Like I'm not above constructive criticism. Just don't do it in somebody else's chat. If you want to say something to me, you're welcome to come to my chat, first of all. Or else I'm doing something serious like with my dad or any other guest, because that's the other thing, guys. My dad has offered me his network of people. So I am to come up with a list of topics. We're going to sit down and he's going to find me guests for those topics with his connections. So I'm quite happy about that. That should be good. And I appreciate the fact that he's willing to do that. And hopefully I can find some good people, even if I don't know who they are. I'm sure somebody does. I have a couple people in mind that I know that he's friendly with that I would love to see if they would come on here. But, as long as you're not doing it when that's going on, or if I'm trying to do something serious, I don't mind if you come in and have something to say to me. My email is always open as well. Just don't do it in other people's chats because I'm not going to respond to you. I'm going to do it like I treat children and I treat, even my dogs. Like, you're not going to approach me in an aggressive way. I'm going to ignore you until you, come at me like a human being. And then we can talk. But it's just kind of the way you have to do it. It's like, if my dog's jumping on me, I don't acknowledge her. She doesn't exist until she, addresses me properly. And it is what it is. So don't come for my parenting. But, I don't know, guys. Yeah, and I'm excited for stuff that I'm going to be doing here. And if people show up, they do. If they don't, they don't. But I do have some true crime stuff in the works. I do. And I do intend to do that. I haven't decided if I want to pre-record it and then stream it. Because a lot of it has sharing stuff and stuff like that. And I don't know how to do that quite yet, but I am doing, because it is the month anniversary, I am doing the Columbine case. I am doing a live reading of both of their journals. I might do that tomorrow, actually. But I'm not sure. I just want people to know that there's going to be a major trigger warning, and there are going to be some words that I am not comfortable saying. I will say some of the words that are going to be controversial, but there are some words in there that I will not say out loud, even for the sake of reading. But I'm going to post them up on here so people can read along, because it's interesting, it's insightful, and I have a lot to say about that case as well. And I am still waiting on my Freedom of Information Act that I'm not optimistic about. But you never know. You never know. You don't know, or else you try, right? So, but the Colorado FBI, let me tell you, they don't fuck around. They do not like to tell their secrets. What is it about Colorado and all of this stuff happening in Colorado? I don't understand it. Like it really is. Like I feel like I feel like a sick fuck for saying this. I'm sorry, BeePlus After Dark, but that if I was to go to Colorado, it would be like a tour of every true crime case that I have ever followed. It's like it's all in Colorado. So I've never been to Colorado, and I actually have always wanted to go, not because of like crime stuff. Their airport apparently is like shrouded in conspiracy theory stuff too. So it's like a whole package, It's not just Colorado. For what? Like FBI stuff? Or well, my Freedom of Information Act was approved, but it's pending FBI. Something like that. Yeah, Florida too. That's true. Florida, man. That is true. It is Florida and Colorado. At least the cases that I follow, it's very true. Not a whole lot interesting happens near where all that's not true. There are some cases that are local to me that are quite interesting. But I was actually living not too far from one of them at the time, but there's some new developments. I don't know. I don't even know if I'm going to be any good at true crime, but I am very interested in the Columbine case for a lot of different reasons, because it is not as it seems, and the media turned it into something that it's not. And I didn't even know the truth of it until not even that long ago. And it's a real shame that people don't know the truth of it, because it was all like virtue, putting people's virtues. It's not about music or video games or anything like that, because I listen to the same bands as they do. Like I've worked for one of them, or I've done work for one of them, and hopefully, fingers crossed, get back on that soon, because that's it's a sweet gig. But it had nothing to do with that stuff, but it's a really religious part of. There's a lot of religion that were at that time that was over in that area. So, of course they want to blame it on the media. They want to blame it on, God not being in schools anymore. And they took every opportunity to grab that, but it had nothing to do with that shit. So, oh, you're a native Coloradan. I want to go to Colorado. I think it looks beautiful. I don't know. I move around a lot, and then I always come back to Rhode Island. Always, always, always. I lived in Massachusetts for a while, Denise. I've lived in, well, I graduated from Bridgewater State, so I was in Bridgewater State. I went there for 2 years. I've lived in Franklin. I've lived in Bellingham. You did. That's right. You did. I forgot about that, Kim. That's right. Yeah. I did more like marketing, social media, back in the day, like street team work. But lately, it was nice. I got noticed by, this is one of my favorite bands of all time. I had to sign an NDA for it. I think it's up, but I'm sure it is. But, I had to, and I asked why, and they're like, it's for your own protection. I'm like, excuse me, what? Like, why would it be for my own protection? Well, it's because the people who like this band are a little unhinged, and they're like really obsessed. And I found out, I saw why, and I was like, oh, good God. Well, I guess that's, I like my angry music. So I like my angry German music. It's good. So, I'm supposed to be in Europe in like another week. I have tickets, but nope. Because everything got pushed back. So it was supposed to be a show on in Berlin on July 4th. And, that was 2 years ago. So now apparently it's next week. So I'm like, I'm not going to be going to that. So I don't know how to sell those tickets either. But when the US tour starts, which starts in September, I'll go to all those, and I'll be able, I think I'm going to go to the after party in Chicago as a thank you for my hard work. So that'll be nice to get invited to an after party, not based on what I look like, but because of who I am. So respect for that. But yeah, that's my only claim to fame, guys, really though. And I got noticed by them. It was really awesome. It was really awesome. Oh, really? Wow. Yeah, no, I don't think anything interesting has happened here. But, well, I've done that for that. I've also done a lot of local music. So I am a musician. So I've been in a band. I've done that kind of thing, local touring around Connecticut, Massachusetts, Rhode Island. Nothing interesting or special. I'm not great. I'm sure Crafton's way better than I am. Especially, I think he's primarily a bass player. So yeah, I dabble with bass. I can play bass. I can play piano. I can read music, but I'm mostly a guitarist, rhythm guitarist. My lead works kind of sloppy, very sloppy, but I want to come on here with that too. Yeah, I have a lot of interest, and I'm just rambling at this point, and somebody needs to shut me up, because it's late. I have to go feed my dogs. I gotta go take them out. But I appreciate all of you for being here. I really appreciate each and every one of you. You guys are all awesome. Oh yeah, he is a bass player. I just got a new bass recently. I need to probably get rid of some of my instruments before I buy new ones. But sometimes the opportunity arises, and I'm like, I need that. and I make it happen. But yeah, I've played guitar since I was 10. I've taken lessons. So yeah, I would love to bring my music on here. I have videos somewhere. I took a lot of them down, but I think some of them are still up there. True crime show. I'm actually about to go. I found on YouTube. You can't find it otherwhere, like on the thing, but there's a movie called 0 Hour, and apparently it's based on like the Columbine case. And I'm going to go watch it because it's on YouTube, and I wanted to see it, and I didn't know. I had never heard of it, but as part of my research, I unfortunately found like the Columbine fangirls on Twitter, and it is the most disturbing thing I've ever seen in my life. You think that this community's fucked up? Oh my god. Um but I stumbled upon that, and one of them had posted something. I'm like, I've never even heard of that. So I went and looked. All I did was look up the hashtag. That's all I did. And I stumbled into all of these people that, want to pretend to be in a relationship with them. It's really weird. Kids are really strange. Okay. I'm off topic. But all right, yes. Everybody hit that thumbs up. And I hope everybody has a great night. And I will see you guys either around YouTube streets later or tomorrow.